this client one day came up and he asked me to make his daughter's room with these type of drapes and with that, and I was like, no, not like that. You need some flowers and some bubble gum.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. So today I have a special guest with me. Alright, so this is my good friend Dion. Awesome guy, awesome photographer as well. He's got an Instagram account, you guys can check it out. Link is over here and it's going to also be in the description. So today is going to be the first ever collaboration.
Yes.
So Dion, you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am a photographer from Montreal. I do headshots, portraits, boudoir, and fitness.
As you guys see, we're both a couple of fitness guys, him more fit than I am. So we've known each other for a couple of years. We share many viewpoints. And it's been about like 8-9 years we've known each other.
Yeah, that.
Crazy. And today, what we did was we went and saw Terminator: Dark Fate. So it was kind of like unexpected. I initially didn't have any interest at all in watching the movie, so I kind of went ahead and spoiled a few things for myself. I didn't see anything regarding spoilers, but I heard a few things, so I knew a little bit of what we were getting into. And without saying too much, I think the movie was a lot better than what we were, at least compared to what I was expecting. I expected it to be a dumpster fire.
Totally agree.
Yeah. We both grew up watching Terminator. Is one of our favorite movies. Terminator 2, I'll Be Back. Arnold Schwarzenegger, can't be beat, man. What were your expectations going in?
Well, going in, hearing from all the negative reviews that we heard online,
yeah,
and we weren't impressed about it. You know, the previews, people were talking about the fact that it's like almost an all-female cast, and but then again, it was produced by James Cameron. And that was a big attraction. So I was like, well, you never know. James Cameron has tricks up his sleeve. So, I mean, after seeing it, I have to say, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. My sentiments as well. The thing that I was expecting, like I said, a bit of it was spoiled. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a spoiler warning. I'll give you guys a count of 3, 2. Turn away, then I'll let you know when to come back if you want to avoid any type of spoilers. 3, 2, 1, spoiler. John Connor dies in the first 5 minutes of the freaking movie. So, yeah, that was the part that was spoiled for me. I didn't see anything at all, but I just heard about it. It was a little bit jarring to see, one of the, apart from Arnold Schwarzenegger, let's be honest, Sarah Connor and John Connor are 2 of the most iconic characters in the franchise as well. They were the future, right? How did you feel about that? How did you feel about that scene?
About when he died?
Yeah. At the very beginning.
It was shocking. It was well done because it looked like the actual John Connor from the original T2. But it was shocking, but it laid the groundwork for the rest of the movie. Because there's a lot of things that needed explaining, and this summed it up. And even just to explain Arnold Schwarzenegger's presence in the movie, they explained it well, and it was
Carl!
It was satisfying. I have to say, it was satisfying, and I was pretty impressed that Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't in the movie for nothing.
Yeah, because kind of I was expecting the same thing. I was expecting Arnold to be kind of like a throwaway character, but he wasn't. He makes his appearance about halfway through the movie. So first spoilers are done, so welcome back. So he was not a throwaway character. He actually lasted throughout the movie. I was very, very surprised because the movie's about 2 hours. 2 hours and like 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. From the beginning, after the initial part, everything goes very smooth, and I would say Sarah Connor, she's back on her game. Age definitely has caught up with both Arnold and Sarah Connor. But here's the thing with this movie, and tell me what you think. You can't go by whatever people say, because what people like to do is they like to sensationalize things. They like to take the worst parts of the movies and make their entire videos about the worst parts. There are two worst parts in the movie, and that is what people focused on. Yes, those two parts did really suck, but apart from that, the rest of the movie is actually really good, very entertaining. The graphics are very well done. So never go by what when people make videos and review things just based on negativity and they never say anything positive. There's always positive things about the movies, and on my reviews I like to do both the positive and the negative. So watch the movie, I very much recommend it.
I definitely agree. I mean, like, there are so many things that I found that I went into the movie wanting to hate it. Only because of the fact that we heard, I was ready to put my gloves on and go, oh, I'm gonna find all the bad things in the movie and trash
Social justice!
But then I started thinking about it, and like, a lot of people, I think they use movies like this, or sometimes anything that they can use to promote their channel. And I think that it is also popular right now to sort of trash anything that has the slightest bit amount of SJW, tone to it, shall we say. And I think some people who saw this as an all-female cast were like, oh, this is such a SJW move to remove the men from the movie. But I don't find that the fact that they're female had anything to do with the movie per se.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that they didn't use it as a sort of springboard to promote any type of feminism or whatever. It was just a movie that was like, okay, there was people involved, they happen to be women, and that's what it was. But the story was told, and that's how I prefer a movie to be told, if it's gonna be all female. Unlike Charlie's Angels, that really tried to go overboard, and obviously, as you can see from the box office, tanked, and all the criticisms.
$8 million on opening night.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think still in the end, I think that Terminator, what's what we called again?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate did a good job. So I can't complain.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Like, even the review bombing did actually affect this movie very badly, because opening night, I think they made something like $22 million for Terminator Dark Fate. Based on what I was hearing, I completely agreed with it, and now I'm kind of regretting having that mindset. Definitely go watch the movie. Let's talk a little bit about the characters. What do you think? So a lot of people had a big issue with the bad guy of the movie, the
K9, I think it was, or
no, not K9. It was something with a K and something with a 9.
R9. It was R9, no?
Var9. I think it might have been like Var9. Like, I remember something like Rotastic. Yeah, a lot of people didn't actually like the actor originally when they chose it for the movie, because he didn't look intimidating. He looked very, I wouldn't say weak, but he didn't look intimidating. People were like, I don't see him as a Terminator. But here's the thing, I did a little bit of research, because there is Terminator lore. There are books and things that the characters are based on, and the character that he plays, the Terminator that he plays, is supposed to be one of these Terminators that is a step beyond the T-1000. So the T-1000 can integrate into society, humanity, by appearing human, but no emotions, just being cold and things like that. Remember? So with this one, his programming is he's got to be human. So that's why you see him making jokes, laughing, haha. My body's all my body's a weapon, right? So he's got to be able to integrate with people and get them to trust him, be friendly. He's also programmed with psychology and understanding of a human condition, things like this. So once I understood that, I went back and watched a few of the previews, and I was like, okay, I see, it makes sense. And then when we went into the movie, bro, honestly, this guy, I think he knocked it out of the ballpark.
I think he was really good. I think he's entertaining. He was believable.
Yeah.
You can definitely sense that even though he had to play a part where, as a robot, he had to look human, you can still sense that robot character in him, but no one else can see that. They only see the human parts, but we can see the robot parts. We know what he's doing. So I think that he did a good job at playing that sort of role of a more advanced robot type that could appeal to humans as being human.
Hi, is Daniela home?
Exactly. Talking with more jargon, if you want to say, and so on and so forth. It was really well done. He was convincing as a bad guy.
Sarah Connor. It's a Sarah Connor role. She played it amazingly. We all know her and love her. Human. So she is going to be the weaker of the cast. Well, one of the weaker of the cast, but because she has her experience with the Terminators, the movie goes very into detail of how the new Terminator girl came about. So you would understand why she's able to stand her ground as much as she does with the Terminators as in this movie. She still looks physically. She still looks phenomenal. Arms are very toned. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but she still looks amazing.
I mean, like, she played the part well. I was surprised. I thought it would be more cringy. That it would be like she had a couple of cringy moments, but it was good that they got out of the way and then
it was the Sarah Connor badass.
Yeah, exactly. They had to make her a badass, and they had a couple of quotes where she did a badass thing. I was like, oh, okay, roll your eyes. It's done with. It's over. Get on with the movie.
I'm never fucking calling you Carl.
Yeah, exactly. Like things like that, or at the end, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, whatever. But they did a good. She did a good job, and it didn't detract from the movie. The fact that she was in it. Some people complained, they put her in just because. No, there was definitely a story in it, and that's it. What was the other girl's name? There, the main character. What was her name?
Grace.
That Terminator Grace, and then there's also the Mexican girl there.
Yeah. So
is she Mexican?
Yeah. I think so. I think they were Mexican.
I think Mexico, were they?
The opening was in Guatemala.
I don't know where they were.
Alright, sorry guys. Wherever they're.
I know it sounds the stereotype that all people who are Latin American are Mexican, but let's imagine she's Mexican.
But I think they're from Latin America.
Yeah, that for sure. But Mexico. But anyways, but she was good too. I mean, like at first, the poster didn't do the movie justice. I don't know if you saw the movie poster where you see them on the bridge walking towards the camera.
I think it's featured in my first.
Yeah, I mean, like that poster did not do the movie justice. That poster made you not want to see the movie. I found. When I first saw that poster, I was like, oh gosh, look at this, it's cringy. But then watching the movie, that poster is like, oh no, it's so much better than that poster.
Okay, so since we're talking about Daniela, spoiler alert time, 3, 2, 1. So, in the beginning of the movie, John Connor gets offed by the Terminator, and people were saying she replaced John Connor. I didn't understand what people were saying by she replaced John Connor until there's a certain scene in the movie. It's supposed to be like an emotional part of the movie where Grace, the female Terminator, is talking about her timeline, where she came from. And as it turns out, yeah, she is pretty much John. Nothing to do with gender neutrality and things like this, but in Grace's timeline, and it kind of like actually makes sense now. It's a little bit more palpable. So in Grace's timeline, John Connor never existed. We knew Sarah Connor's history with John Connor. So that's the reality that we all grew up with. But as we know, there are always parallel realities as well, right? They deal with that in Genesys, which is slap it around a bit. So that was the reality that we grew up with, but there was another reality that we were never exposed to, and that was Grace's timeline, which Daniela was John Connor. She was the human resistance. What I didn't like though was how they kept referencing her being the mother of a son, and I think they referenced it in that manner 3 times during the movie. and I was just expecting the worst. I kind of also was expecting maybe, oh no, she doesn't have a son, she has a daughter, which would have made a little bit of a social justice warrior kind of thing like that. Do you want to add anything to that before we release the spoiler?
No, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Spoiler is over. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Now let's get into the female Terminator, Grace. Honestly, Grace, I've said it from the beginning, from my first trailer reaction. I like this girl. Anybody that did have an issue with a female Terminator, not because of gender stuff, she is a Terminator. She's not a normal human. She has been augmented. So it would make sense that she's able to hold her own against an actual Terminator, taking a punch, giving a punch, holding them back, and things like this. Her acting was actually very well done, in my opinion. Definitely a necessity of the movie. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that we're still shooting. Okay, perfect. So I think she added a lot to the movie, and her character was very believable, and the actress did a phenomenal job. So, what do you?
I agree. I mean, like, I was really surprised. Again, I only had the previews to go by when I saw her in action, because I've never really seen her in a movie before, and after seeing the movie, I was blown away. I was like, wow, she really pulled it off. The previews didn't make it look, because, like, you know, the previews only show certain shots, certain scenes, and, you know,
there's an arrogance to the previews. I find.
Exactly. I think the movie was ruined by the previews. I think the previews weren't done properly. It didn't rev the movie up well enough, and people, I don't think, were excited by it. Maybe it could also be the fact that the franchise has been stretched too long.
Franchise fatigue.
Yeah, franchise fatigue, but definitely. And they basically, I think with like Genesys, Salvation, people were already on the way down. So they're trying to bring back Terminator, and I think only the true diehard fans were into it, and most people were like, eh. So that's why it tanked, probably. And I think what kept it alive.
About the movie.
What kept it alive was definitely the true diehard fans who saw it and go, wow, they were probably really impressed by it.
And now let's get to the major attraction of the movie, Carl. Of course, we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Schwarzenegger appears in the second half of the movie. The movie is 2 hours, and he appears right smack in the middle. And it's a very interesting take on the Terminator, because he is the Terminator that actually we did the spoiler part in the beginning, so we're not talking about that part. And then seeing how he interacts with Sarah Connor afterwards, some parts were very like what he says. So this happened, and then this person, just the way he just so casually said it, you were like, wow, like you makes you realize that he is, even though he has grown as a character as much as he can, he is still a machine, and he's still not capable of feeling emotion and understanding the actual outcome of his actions in the end, but he tries to atone for what he did as best he could. Arnold definitely was a great part of the movie. I didn't know what they were going to do with Arnold, but I'm very much glad that Arnold was, from when he started in the movie, he was ever present throughout. And what really makes the movie great is that even though it was revealed what Daniela is, she is still not the ultimate character. She is just a timeline carrier. Whereas Arnold is the one that ends the movie. Because let's be honest, nobody else in the cast in reality, if this was like an actual situation, could have done what Arnold did in the end of the movie, which was take down the K9, K-VAR, whatever.
It was Rev 9.
Rev 9?
Rev 9.
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah, Rev 9.
What was your take on that?
On Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
I think I liked him in the movie. I mean, like it was good. It was good having him back. It didn't feel forced. It was very organic. He was in there for a reason, and it was good.
I thought it was going to feel forced, but
it was good having him in there. And I just forgot. Watching it, he was just in it, and it was just like, okay, go guys, do what you gotta do. And it was good having him in it, and he played a good part. Like he was still, it still felt like the good old T. Like T2, T900, 800. Okay, but he was phenomenal. I mean, like he was great. It was good seeing him in it, and it was refreshing to see Schwarzenegger in the movie. And it's
still swole as fuck.
Yeah, he was still in shape, and he did some amazing things in the movie. And I don't think the movie will disappoint if you invest your time in it. That's for sure.
Yeah, Genesys, I believe, got the rating that it deserved. The only thing I liked about the Genesys movie was the joke, what do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? Irrelevant. Like, apart from that, the rest of the movie, Genesys, was crap. We both, right, highly recommend watching this movie. My initial rating before we went in, I was going to rate it between 6 and a 7. And I'm still sticking to my verdict, 7 out of 10. Still a very high score. Definitely worth a watch. Don't fall for the hype. Watch the movie. Form your own opinion, just like I did with Ghostbusters, which I might make a video about that later. So watch the movie, guys. Verdict?
I agree, definitely. I recommend the movie. Especially if you like T2 from the 90s, you'll definitely like this. It has the same flow. It's very similar if you watch it. If you look at it, it's very similar in terms of not what happens, but like
a lot of rehashed.
A lot of themes, a lot of rehashed themes, and what happened in T2 happened in this, different locations, different time, but they did a good job in not making it too redundant. So I think definitely go see it. You're gonna enjoy it, and that's it.
Oh, and the humor. There were some funny parts in the movie, but what was actually really good about the humor in this movie was it was not corny and it was not overused.
Yeah.
I think Genesys, they overused the jokes. Thank God we didn't see any forced Arnold smiles. Remember this one? In Terminator 2, it was great because it was something like you weren't expecting. And then afterwards in each other movie, they tried to make him smile. And it just got more and more awkward. Three or four jokes that are made throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And none of them are corn and none of them seem forced, or they just feel like they're part of like their conversations. When he's talking about the drapes, the funniest thing is watching Schwarzenegger talk like he's an interior decorator.
It was really good.
This client one day came up and he asked me to make his daughter's room with these type of drapes and with that, and I was like, no, not like that. You need some flowers and some bubble gum.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah. You have any closing statements?
No, I think you should definitely, don't listen to the hype. See the movie, watch it with an objective point of view, and listen to us. It's that simple. I would definitely rate it a 7 out of 10 as well, though.
So you heard it here first, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. My friend Dion, check out his social media. Like I said, I'll link everything below. We might do another video together for the Star Wars.
Sure.
We'll see how that one turns out. Oh God. So hope everybody enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment below, and as always, subscribe. Chica, Vega, out.
Good.
Thank you for watching, guys. Okay, perfect. Even though we shot for...
She's not here. See that guy over there? That's a smile. Come on. That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.